Hey everyone, welcome back. This week I'm working on something that I've been dying to make. This week we are working on the Cars Vest by Moonwool Crafts. Originally this pattern popped up on my Instagram in March. I fell in love the second I saw it. I knew I had to make it, but been very busy for the last couple months. It is now August 1st. I decided that it is time to start on this project. I do have to have it done by September. It gives me about a month. Realistically, I only want to give myself a month because otherwise I won't finish. Honestly, I have not felt this excited for a project in a really long time. It is a lot of tapestry crochet and I'm not very well versed in tapestry crochet, so I'm really excited to try something new. This vest I will be using for my Disneyland trip in September. Really excited. I want to get some cute pictures in the Cars land. I have all the yarn that I need. I just bought it recently, and if you haven't already watched last week's video where I went yarn shopping, please make sure to watch that. I would really appreciate it. So I have all the yarn here. I also purchased the pattern. I will link the pattern in the video and as well as in the description box in case you wanted to try it for yourself. Currently, as I'm filming this video, this pattern retails for $10.19 plus tax. So it is on the higher side of patterns, but I mean it's a lot of work. The pattern that I bought was for the Sally vest, but this creator has a lot of cars related patterns. They have a Lightning McQueen sweater, they have a Mater tapestry, and I believe they have a couple new ones that they just dropped. So really there's many characters to choose from. If Sally isn't your vibe, maybe Lightning McQueen is, maybe Mater is, or it'd be fun if you have a group of friends and you each get a character. I think that would be really cute. Personally, I went with the vest. One, because I think Sally's pretty cute, and two, because a vest just seems more practical. Vests are very easy to layer, so this is kind of interesting. If you don't already know, wearable crochet patterns tend to be one of two. Either they are size graded, meaning that they come with small, medium, large, extra large, and they'll tell you exactly how many stitches, how many rows, and very detailed on how to make each size. Or they come made to measure, which pretty much just is more so a guide than a pattern, which, if I'm being honest, I'm not a fan of made to measure patterns. The first time that I bought a wearable pattern was a couple years ago. It said on the pattern that it was made to measure, but I just didn't know what that meant, so I didn't really pay too close attention. Once I bought the pattern, I realized that it was made to measure and that it was just not going to work for me. I do definitely want to go back to the pattern because it is still a nice pattern. I just did not have the patience for it, especially since I assumed that it would have sizes. That was definitely my fault. Now, this pattern didn't say whether it is size graded or made to measure, and normally they all tell you which one they are, but this one just didn't say, so I assumed for the worst and expected it to be made to measure, and it is. However, it is not made to measure on your body, it is made to measure on another vest, and that's where the problem lies because I do not have any sweater vests, so I don't know how I'm going to be able to gauge what I need to do. I'm gonna go through my closet and see what I can find, but I do not have any sweater vests. Maybe if I can find just a regular t-shirt and kind of go off of that. I'm not too sure, but I'll be back. Ignore being super wrinkly, but I found this t-shirt. Kind of like a tank top, but it has a similar shape to the vest, so it's honestly the closest thing that I could find, so it's gonna have to do. I do wish that the pattern description had mentioned that you need a garment to measure off of, because that would have been good information to know. I still would have bought the pattern, but I do think that that's something important that you should include, especially if that's what the pattern is, but it's okay. I found something that'll hopefully work, and it's time to get started. I have found another sort of potential issue. So there's no gauge swatch, which is really weird, especially for a tapestry pattern. I would expect that there be a gauge swatch so that obviously everything lines up. And although it is made to measure pattern, so I guess technically you really wouldn't need a gauge swatch, you do need it for the tapestry piece to make sure that if you're measuring everything around the tapestry piece, it should be one size. So that's a bit weird. All that there is that you use a 5mm hook. That doesn't give me a whole lot. To be honest, I'm gonna go down 2 sizes. I'm gonna use a 4mm hook because 1, it's just my preferred size, and 2, I can't even find my 5mm hook. So I guess if there's no gauge, it doesn't really matter, and made to measure, so it'll work out anyways. But I thought that was interesting that there's no gauge. I've never seen that before, but you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna get started. The pattern that she provides is sort of just a guide of how she made hers, and hers is a men's large, and there aren't really many instructions for how to size up or how to size down, so I do need a large or extra large, so I'll have to see. In the pattern there are directions on how to size down the tapestry, but there aren't instructions on how to size up the tapestry. Also, the charts are kind of hard to read, and the last row on the top and the sides is just a teensy bit cut off, and it's okay. I mean, it's kind of hard to go by it, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into Stitch Fiddle and then just use Stitch Fiddle to work up the design. That way I can keep track of it easier as well. That's kind of the plan. I'm going to get started now. I'm all done with my ribbing now, and it's time to increase. Okay, so the chart that comes with the pattern is just a little bit difficult for me to read. Some of the colors blend into each other, like the little highlight on her, what would it be, her bumper, her nose. It's just a little too close to the other blue, so I want it to stand out a little bit so that once I'm working on it, I don't get confused. To do that, and also to help me follow along, I decided to throw it into Stitch Fiddle and then make it easier to follow and everything. So this is the one that came with the pattern, and this is the one that I made in Stitch Fiddle. Will make it way easier for me to follow. I'm super excited to see how that looks in person. Putting it in the exact colors that I'm going to use just made it all the more exciting. I'll be needing a bigger size, so I do have to add a couple columns to each side, and I like the way it looks with the scenery wrapped around the whole thing, so I'm just going to add a couple rows and then make it look like it's still part of the same tapestry rather than just do solid blue and cuts off and looks kind of silly. I'm going to do the increases, and then I'll do the math to see how many columns I have to add. I have 3 episodes left of Game of Thrones, and then I'm all done. So after I watch the Crochet Authority podcast, I will likely just finish out Game of Thrones. It is day 2, and I want to show you what I have done so far. I finished 10 rows. Okay, so this is what we have on day 1. You start seeing the wheel a little bit forming. I have the ribbing and a little bit of the color work going. I have the shadow underneath Sally, and then a little piece of her wheel. I don't really have a lot of tangles yet. It looks really good. I'm super excited, and my goal for today is to finish another 10 rows. It just takes me a little bit longer. For ease, I'm writing down making a written pattern of the numbers that I need to do per color, because it'll be easier doing that than looking at the color blocks on Stitch Fiddle. So I just kind of go through each row, write down the number of colors I need, and then use that to go as a guide. That way I don't get lost or confused. So 10 the first day. Today my goal is to crochet up to row 20 and to make the written instructions for the next 10 after that for tomorrow, but we'll see. So I left this project to sit for a couple days, and it got really tangled up. Plus it's tapestry, so it always just gets tangled up. I think I'll just cut it up into bobbins and then just replace the colors once they run out, just so that it's a little bit easier to work with. Okay guys, so I'm back to give a little update on my vest. Now, originally the plan was August 1st was day 1, and I did do that. I did start on August 1st, and then I was just gonna go day by day, so then if the vest took me 10 days, I'd be done August 10th. Right? But I ended up starting to work on my Halloween costume just because I wanted to make sure that it was feasible. It was something that I could do, because I've never sewn before and it does require quite a bit of sewing, and I just wanted to make sure that it was even something that was going to be possible. Otherwise I was going to have to look for something else, and I've been working on the vest and my costume simultaneously, so it doesn't really line up anymore, but that's okay. I'm still on schedule. Everything is still good. I got the body of the costume done. Obviously now it's about doing the head and the details and blah 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 blah. That video will be up eventually, probably after this one, and it looks like I'm at a good spot. So I stopped filming that video and I decided that I'm going to solely work on the vest, just because the deadline for the vest is 1 month away and the deadline for the costume is 2 months away. So I'm just going to work on the vest until I finish it, and then I'll move on to the costume. Just wanted to show you the progress I have so far. I've done a lot of it. Most of Sally is done. Most of the car is done. And it looks beautiful, first of all. It looks incredible. I'm so excited to wear it. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it's a little small, and I've known that's going to be kind of a problem since the beginning because it looks a little small. But the thing is that it's so stretchy that I kind of just went with it. You know, it matched up to the top, so it must match up to my body, right? So that's kind of the plan. It is a little wrinkly, a little warped. I think it's just because of all the color changes and it's such a big piece. I just want to show you what I have so far. I've worked up 2 rows for today. I've been doing 10 rows every day, and I've worked up 2 rows so far today. Please ignore the tangled up yarn. It's Tapestry Crochet. What can I say? It's gonna get tangled. But to be honest, it's not that bad. It could be worse. But look at her. Isn't she so cute? Like I said, it's a little bit wrinkly. I think it's just because it's such a big piece. Because, I mean, if I stretch it out, it'll flatten out. So I think blocking it is just gonna fix whatever's going on there. And then this little piece, I accidentally forgot to weave it in, and it was too late. I was already like 2 rows up. So I decided to leave it, and then I'll just fix it at the end. I'm working on her eyes right now. But I have most of her body done. I have just a couple rows left before she's fully done. And then it's just going to be mountains and sky. I'm really excited for it. Hopefully it comes out nice and hopefully it fits me. I'm planning to take some pictures at the Cars Land at Disneyland whenever I go on my trip. However, don't blame me. I do not know how to take good pictures, so if they don't come out well or they don't come out at all, do not blame me. But I'm really excited, and I'm going to keep working on this a little bit later. I have a lot of things to do right now that are non-crafting related, but this is my main focus whenever I have time for crafts. So I will be back to try to finish those last 8 rows for today, and then tomorrow another 10, and then I should be done relatively soon. I think by the end of today I should be at 40. So 50 tomorrow, 60 the next day, 70 the next day, and I believe 70 is the armpit, which is where I start shaping. So we'll get there when we get there. I've been working on the vest for a little bit, and I do have quite a bit of progress done. I'm still on the first panel, but I do have a lot of work done, and I just want to show you. So where I'm at now, and probably like mid-mountain, there's little pieces of sky starting to peek in through the mountains, so I'm getting really excited. It's looking really, really, really nice. I have to work up the tapestry up to the point where it hits my armpit. I apologize if the audio isn't great. My mic died, and I don't have the little box that you use to plug in the charger. It didn't come with a box for the charger, so I haven't been able to charge it. And I did notice that I filmed a little piece of my Halloween costume the other day, and it definitely died out on me, and it died like halfway through the video, and it's kind of a bummer because I have no idea what I'm saying. So I might just have to do voiceover over that, but nonetheless, I'm just gonna film without it, and hopefully the audio is not too bad. For the vest, I've been working on it for the past couple of days, and I do have quite a bit done. I've been carrying it around in this basket. It's just so much easier to work on a tapestry project if it's all in one container because it's a lot of yarn. I am at the point of the mountains. I've finished Sally. I'm all done with her. So now I'm at the point of the mountains and getting close to the sky. So at the most, I'll be working with 4 colors, but not really. Right now I'm just working with 2, well I guess 3 because of the sky, but it's so much more manageable right now, and honestly the pattern is working up so much faster now that it's longer lengths per color rather than one color, one square, one square, one square, you know what I mean? So it's been working a lot faster, which is kind of exciting because 1, it's building up and it looks really pretty, and 2, the second panel should definitely be a lot faster than this panel because all of it is background. So that's exciting. I've been keeping a notebook with all the rows and the number of stitches per color, just to kind of keep myself organized, because it's so much harder to work like if you're counting as you're crocheting. I find it easier to have a written pattern. So if you're doing a tapestry piece or this piece in particular, I do recommend making a little written note for yourself. That makes it so much easier and so much faster to work up. I'm going to show you what I have done so far. So it's a little wrinkled up. It's kind of still attached to the yarn, but that's what it's looking like. I think it looks really, really pretty. I'm so excited for this. It's so pretty. Look at it. And then the best part is that it's reversible, so I could really wear it either way. But yeah, I'm getting really, really excited because, you know, I can see the mountains building up, but the little sky peeking through is just making it look really nice. And then I have a little blue here and then a little bit of blue here, but it's gonna look so good. I'm so excited. Hopefully once I block it, it'll fit me. It looks like it's gonna be okay, but and as a little treat for finishing Sally, I'm actually gonna watch the Cars movies. I've never seen the Cars movies actually, which is kind of weird because they're really popular, but to be honest, I was very much a girly girl when I was little, so Cars just did not interest me. I was more so for the princesses than for the Cars movie, and honestly I just wrote it off as a boys movie and I did not care for it. But Cars Land is so cute, and I've heard that everybody really enjoys the Cars movie, and I thought I can't justify making a Cars Vest without actually watching the Cars movies, but I wanted to wait until I was well into the project so that I could, you know, work it up and it wasn't just like the first rows and it was boring. So now I have her done and I can watch it and be excited about it. So I'm gonna watch Cars 1 today, and then we'll see how far I get into it, and then maybe I'll watch the second one. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I did have to add a couple columns on either side of it just because the tapestry piece is a certain size and she has directions on how to take off pieces if you need a smaller size, but she didn't have any directions on how to add more. And I am a mid-sized person, not necessarily plus size, but I am definitely in the mid-size section, and so I did need a little bit of a bigger size. So if you are plus size or even just mid-size as well, you might need to add a little bit more. I know that I did also have to add more because not only am I bigger than the size that is given in the pattern, but I also was using a smaller hook, so my gauge was a bit smaller, so I did need to add a couple rows, but to be honest, it wasn't that hard. I threw the whole pattern into the stitch fiddle, and then I just kind of made my own artistic choices of how to move the mountains, and it really wasn't that hard. If anybody needs help with that, you can always feel free to DM me on Instagram, and I can help you out with that. No problem at all, and I'm sure that the creator would help you as well. She responds really fast and she's very helpful, so you know, you can ask her or you can ask me, however, and it wasn't that hard, and it looks great. Doesn't look off or anything, so just want to let you know in case you are plus size or mid-size, or making it for somebody who is plus size or mid-size and might need help adding a couple columns to the piece. In the length of it, it's pretty good. I'm currently like 20 rows out from finishing the tapestry, and I think it's at a good length. So I think that I'm going to want to have it a little bit longer than the tank that I'm referencing. I think a little bit under the waistline of my pants, just a teensy bit. I don't want it cropped at all. I'm not really a fan of the cropped look for myself, so I just have to add about that much before I start decreasing, but I think it looks pretty good so far. So I just need a few more rows to hit the armpit length, and then I'll start decreasing. It does look like it'll fit. If I block it, I think it'll just have a better fit. But hopefully it's not too tight, and hopefully it looks good.
Come hold me close, baby.
I finished all the rows of the tapestry piece, and now I'm working on the chest area. It's a little bit wrinkly, but that's what it looks like so far. And right now I'm just working on the chest part, and I measured it out so that it's even on both sides. And so now I'm just gonna work this up in single crochets until I get to the point that I need, and then from there I start the decreases, which is what gives it the shape. After that I should have a finished front panel, and I can start working on the back panel. The back panel should be a lot faster than the front panel just because it has less colors and less intricate work. It's a little bit faster. Took a sneak peek into the pattern to see how it's attached and how they do the ribbing, and it looks okay. I think I can follow it. So hopefully this builds up pretty quickly. We are in the middle of August already, so I'm really trying to get it done as quickly as possible. Hey everyone, I'm back, and I've redone my nails. They're Coraline vibes. They're not the best, but I did these as like French tips, but in the end I didn't like them. And it was kind of too late to undo them, so I just did these normal. These are a little silly, it's fine. Anyways, so I wanted to do a little update. I finished the front panel, and I finished it completely. I just haven't fastened off because I don't know if I'm supposed to leave a long end or anything. The pattern doesn't say to fasten off, even though like, that's the point where you fasten off. So because it doesn't say to fasten off, it also doesn't say whether or not you need a long tail. So for now, I just left it attached to the yarn, but it is fully finished now. It's kind of hard to show, but it is finished. The chest, I don't know if this is too slim, but I don't know if I should have made this thicker or not. It also seems like kind of like it's gonna choke me. I don't know if I should have thickened this part out. I kind of left it that way because there's gonna be a little bit of ribbing here, so I didn't want it to like scrunch up, but hopefully that's fine. I was gonna do the ribbing here even though it's not on the pattern. There's an option to do ribbing on the neck or just single crochet up to have a clean edge. And for hers, she just single crocheted to get the clean edge. But I had thought to make the ribbing so that it all kind of matched. But now that I'm looking at it and how close it is to my neck, I think I'm just gonna do the single crochets as well. So I have the front panel done, and I have officially started the back panel. So that looks nice. I'm just gonna keep working this up until it's done. Hopefully it doesn't take me too many days. But once the front panel and the back panel are done, I just have to sew it, finish off the ribbing, and I'll be done. It's the next day, and I got my 10 rows done yesterday. So that's what that looks like. I did start the 11th row, but I didn't finish it because I hadn't written down all the numbers for the tapestry. Just wanted to give a little update on that. From row 11 and up, it's when the color work starts. And so I had to take a break and write down the numbers. I would write them down as I went for the front panel, but for the back panel, I decided to just write it all down, especially since the back panel has less color changes, as in each color has way more stitches than it did in the front, so it kind of went a little bit faster. I took the time to write down all the rows, all the numbers, all the colors, and I finished that. I have all the numbers here, so now I'm ready to get to work. My goal for today is to get the 10 rows done, but I would really like to get 15, maybe 20. The rows do take a while, so we're aiming for 10, but hopefully we can get a little more than that. So I'll probably do a little bit of crocheting, and then I don't know if I'll update you guys today or tomorrow, but for now that's what I have planned, and I'm gonna get to work. mic ended up dying at this point, so none of this audio is even salvageable. But I was talking about how I had the length, and I really liked how perfect it came out in the end. And I just ended up putting it together with some stitch markers just to kind of get a feel for the fit. And I can obviously tell that the neck is a little bit tighter than I'd like, but I think it's perfectly fine. And in the end, even with the little edging, it ended up fine. My biggest problem with this vest at the end was the sides. And you can't tell, obviously you can tell that they're pretty big, but you cannot tell how bulgy it was until I actually seamed it together. The stitch markers you can kind of tell, but not so much. Once I sewed it together, it was ridiculously huge. I ended up taking it in and fixing it, which you'll see a little bit later. But this is kind of just me showing you what it looks like semi put together. It's exactly how long I wanted it. I just wanted it to hit the jean level. Not a crop top and not too long either. The only problem here is the width of it. It's really big. Like that's a big gap right there. And the thing is that this is doing a great job at cinching it in, but then this is huge. So my question is the ribbing on the arm gonna cinch this in so that it looks nice, or is it still just too big? I don't know. Something like this where I pinch these parts together and like overlap it like that. It just won't have a clean line, like it won't have a clean seam. It'll be kind of bulky like that. It'd be kind of bulky, but at least then it fit, and my arms would be here anyways. So I don't know, should I just do the ribbing, or should I cinch it in and then do the ribbing on top? I'm not sure. But other than that, like, it looks so nice. I'm super happy with the way it turned out. I just wish it wasn't quite so big, and I just don't know how I could have fixed it, because in my personal opinion, I think that the ribbing is perfect. It literally fits me really well without being like too tight. So I think that the ribbing is perfect. So maybe it's just made to be that big. It just seems really big. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I think it doesn't look so bad on camera, but it is really big. And I just don't know if the ribbing can fix that. So it's April. It's April of 2025, and I know that I filmed this video in August of 2024, but it's been sitting in my computer for months. I finished the vest on time, but the videos have just been sitting on my computer for so long, and yesterday I decided to finally go through it. And I realized that I never filmed an outro. I also never really came to a conclusion about how it came out, if I liked it. So here I am in April filming that outro. I finished the vest in time to go to Disneyland and everything, but I never really got any pictures. I just got really nervous. I'm kind of a shy person. I also don't really take a whole lot of pictures of myself, so I ended up not getting any cute pictures at Cars Land like I had planned. So I am sorry about that, because I did kind of promise that, but I did mention that it might not happen because I already knew what was gonna happen. So sorry about that. I will offer these Polaroids of me wearing it that day, and that's just gonna be good enough because I literally don't have any pictures in it. The only picture I have is with me and my mom, and it's completely cut off. It is what it is. This is the top, and then I'm gonna fold it so I can hold the edges of it because it's big. So that's how the tapestry came out. Honestly, it's one of my favorite pieces that I've ever made. So it's just so cool. Like, I don't know, there's just something about it. It's so cool. Here, let me do that again because I feel like that worked better. It's definitely a really cool piece, and I loved making it, and I loved wearing it and everything. Problem with the vest that I do have to like take some points off. The pattern itself is a made to measure, which I try to look around to see if it was a made to measure or size graded when I purchased the pattern, but there's no details on it at all, so I kind of assumed it was made to measure, and it was. But it was made to measure on an article of clothing and not on your body, which made it even more confusing for me because I don't make wearables, so it's kind of hard for me to understand a whole lot of it. So I ended up making it bigger than it needed to be. So I did the math to make the tapestry bigger because I did actually need a bigger size than what was provided. So I did need to make it bigger. My problem came in with the fact that I was using a tank top that is made of stretchy material, and I didn't know which, like at what point it was stretching and what point it wasn't, and how it fit, and I just couldn't gauge how big I needed it. And I ended up making it way too big, which is a bummer. For one, because it doesn't fit, and two, because I did more work than I needed to. She's like, it sucks and it's a bummer, but it is what it is. And I ended up having to take it in on the edges. I took it in on both sides, that way it would be even and the tapestry would still kind of make sense. It does suck though, because now the seams are not as clean as they were when I originally put it together and realized it was too big. It was like so pretty and so clean, and then when I had to take in the edges, like it got like lumpy, not lumpy but like bulgy. I don't know how to explain it, but like this, it's not a clean seam, it's like, you know what I mean. But it's not the end of the world, and I actually ended up trying to make the pattern still match. Like I tried to take in the stitches so that the mountain and the clouds and the grass and everything still matched, you know. Okay, so of course my phone died mid filming my conversation with you, so it's at 10%. I'm gonna try to finish this outro before it dies again, but I don't even remember what I was yapping about. I think I was talking about like the edges of this or something, but yeah, so I ended up having to take them in, and it doesn't look so bad from the outside. It's definitely not as clean as it was the original time I did it, with like the way you're supposed to seam it together, but I don't think it's like too noticeable to somebody who doesn't know, you know, so I think it's fine. On the inside, this is literally how much I had to take off from both sides. I had to take off like a big chunk of it, and now it fits me, but also now this kind of gets in the way because this is on the inside, so it's kind of like tucking at me or like pushing up at me. So I guess I was kind of wondering if there's a way to chop this off without it unraveling. I know that in knitting I've seen people do like lifelines and they like do something, and I don't know if there's something crochet related that's similar to that, but I definitely have to look into that because I feel like that would make it just perfect, like it would fit so much better. But it's not horrible, and it is not a big deal. If it stays like that, it stays like that. It's kind of inside out too, which I liked. The way that I made this tapestry, I like it because it's inside out and everything, but in the end I can't even do it inside out because of what happened on the sides, so it's kind of pointless. And also it's kind of a little bit of a downside because not only the way that I did it, but also the fact that I didn't pick a front and a back. There's like little bits and pieces that kind of flare up. You can't even tell, it's like in my head, but like this, you see that, you know, it's not, you can't tell, but it's literally, I can tell. And I would kind of avoid that. Next time I do a tapestry, I'm for sure gonna have a front and a back. I need to chill with trying to be like both sides are perfect and everything. Literally just pick a front and back, call it a day. But other than that, it's pretty good. This is a little bit tight, but I also kind of expected that because it's a vest, and what was I gonna do? Like I followed the pattern and that's how it was. So I think it fits really well. I like the length of it, and I like the fit of it now that it's closed in on the sides. I really do truly love it. I don't know if it's my favorite piece. Here's the thing. So I definitely said it was my favorite piece of all time because of the color work and how gorgeous it is. But I think just the little things like this and the collar and the little colors and all that stuff, it kind of makes me be like, oh, well, maybe I like the Gardenia vest the best, because it fits really well and it was so easy to make and all this stuff. So like it makes me want to put that at number one. But like this one is so beautiful that it kind of just goes back and forth between how I'm feeling. If this fit the way that I needed to, like if I had got the correct amount of stitches, it literally would have been number one, no doubt, nothing in the way, because it's so gorgeous. And I actually got a whole lot of compliments at Disneyland. Like every time I was waiting in line, a crew member or somebody else in the park would always be telling me like, oh my god, I love your vest, did you make it, it's so cool. And I've never had that before. I've never had somebody compliment me like so frequently like that, which was really cool. And it just proves how incredible this vest is. Like it just makes it all the more fulfilling and satisfying to have finished it and worked so hard on it, because everybody did enjoy it. And I definitely want to try more tapestry pieces. This opened the gates of tapestry to me and I'm really excited. I did need a little bit of a break from tapestry because I think it was a little overwhelming, all the colors, but I'm so ready to go back to it now that I've had some time. I really like this pattern. I need to wear it more. I feel like it's more of a winter piece to me, just because like it is a vest, so you'd think you could wear it in the spring and stuff, but I made it with acrylic yarn and I have a feeling it's probably going to be too hot. I haven't even given it a shot, but it might be a little too hot. So I was thinking with a white long sleeve I can just wear it in the winter, but it is spring right now, so maybe I'll try to wear it and see how that goes. But yeah, it's really nice. I really enjoyed it. The pattern was great. I wish it had a little bit more instructions, a little bit more detail, but it's a good pattern and it made a beautiful vest, so that's all you can really expect from a pattern. My overall thoughts is that I really like this pattern. I love the process, I love the product, everything about it was great. And I mean, if you want to make it, I would say just go for it. There is a lot of other options, and even now, it's been months and she's been putting out more and more Cars themed things. So I'll try to put some of them here, and they're really cool. I don't think I'd ever make anything else just because I feel like one is good enough, but there's really cool ones that I think you could make in a group or like whatever, and you have a lot of options, even if it's for the same thing, like to go to Disneyland. But yeah, so definitely check out the pattern if you're interested. I'll leave it linked. So subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. And that's all I have for you guys this week. And I just want to thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.